Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day. In today's episode, Alex finally shows real signs of waking up, but Tu Na can't fully relax yet. A mysterious mother and daughter who once saved Alex suddenly appear at the clinic, and their story reveals what really happened by the stream. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next videos. Let's begin. Morning at the clinic felt like it started before the sun. Tu Na's body was awake, but her head still carried the weight of the night. She had spent hours half sitting, half standing, calming Henry when he fussed, then turning back to Alex's bed to watch his breathing in the bandage. Every time a nurse passed by, Tu Na looked up. Every time Henry stirred, she adjusted her arms and kept moving. Now it was morning, and Alex was still there, still quiet, still not fully back. A nurse came in, checked the fluids, checked his temperature, then shone a small light into his eyes. "He's waking up slowly," she said. "Let him rest. Don't ask him too much." Tu Na nodded and stepped aside. She didn't try to fill the room with words. She only watched Alex's chest rise and fall and listened for any sound that wasn't normal. Alex's mother sat on the other side of the bed. She had been steady since she arrived, focused, practical, not talking too much. She asked the nurse short questions, then returned to watching Alex's face like she could read the answer there. Alex's eyelids moved. He opened his eyes for a moment. His gaze drifted, unfocused, then settled on his mother. That part was clear. He recognized her. He blinked slowly as if his head was heavy. Then his eyes moved toward Tu Na. He looked at her longer than he looked at anything else. Not in a warm way, not in a cold way either. More like he was trying to place her in the right spot. Tu Na didn't push him to speak. She kept it simple. "Just rest," she said softly. You're safe." Alex's lips moved as if he wanted to answer, but nothing clear came out. He shut his eyes again and breathed slowly. Lan arrived a little later, stepping into the room with a quiet knock on the door frame. She greeted Alex's mother, then Tu Na, then looked at Alex. She didn't lean over him. She just watched for a moment, as if checking that he was stable. "I'm going to the sites today," Lan said to Alex's mother. "I need to keep things steady." Alex's mother nodded. "Go! Keep it running." Tu Na said, "Henry is with Batang." Lan gave a quick nod of relief. "Good, stay here. If anything changes, call me." Lan stepped out and left quickly. The room settled again. Alex rested. The nurse came in and out. Tu Na stayed close, but didn't crowd the bed. She helped with small things when asked. Warm water, a towel, adjusting the blanket. Alex's mother stayed seated and spoke to Alex in a low voice now and then, just enough for him to hear a familiar sound. By late morning, Alex opened his eyes again. This time, he kept them open a little longer. He looked at his mother, then the ceiling, then back toward Tu Na. The same pause returned. Tu Na didn't take it personally. She stayed calm. "It's me," she said gently. "Rest first." Alex's brow tightened like something hurt in his head. He swallowed, then shut his eyes again. Outside the clinic, Lan's day was moving fast. She rode to the wood workshop first, walked the floor, spoke with the manager, checked the flow of boards and the storage area. She didn't make a scene. She corrected the obvious things. Keep lanes clear. Don't stack in a way that blocks movement. Don't rush the cuts. She made sure people understood Alex wasn't there to catch mistakes, so they needed to be stricter, not looser. Then Lan moved to the starch site and checked the process. The same way. Quick eyes, short questions, clear instructions. She watched the handling of sacks, asked about consistency, and made sure anything questionable was kept separate. She told the supervisor to keep the line steady and not do anything fast that could backfire later. She stayed on the move for hours, making sure the day didn't drift. Back at the clinic, the doctor came in around midday and asked Alex to squeeze a hand. Alex tried. His fingers moved, weakly. The doctor nodded and spoke to Alex's mother and Tu Na. "He's improving," the doctor said. "The confusion can last a while. Keep it quiet. Let him rest between checks." Alex's mother asked about next steps. The doctor said they would keep monitoring and decide later if a transfer was needed. After the doctor left, Tu Na stood by the window for a moment and breathed out slowly. She wasn't trying to be strong in a dramatic way. She was just trying to keep going. Lan returned in the early afternoon, dust on her shoes, face tired but focused. She stepped into the hallway outside Alex's room and spoke low so Alex wouldn't be disturbed. "They're running," Lan said. "Woodside, Starchside. I corrected a few things. Nothing is falling apart." Tu Na nodded. "He's awake on and off, still confused." Lan hesitated for a second, then added, "I heard something else. A local mentioned the motorbike was found close to the shoulder, like it had been pushed out of the way. I don't know if it's true. It's just a detail people keep repeating." Tu Na looked at her quietly. "So, someone might have been there." "Maybe," Lan said. "I didn't spread it. I just noted it." Tu Na didn't argue. She didn't jump to conclusions. She only felt that uncomfortable shift in her stomach. The feeling that some things still didn't add up. They went back into the room. Alex's mother was still seated. Alex rested with his eyes closed. His breathing stayed steady. A nurse came in later with fresh supplies. While she worked, she spoke casually, like she was sharing routine information. 2 visitors asked about him, the nurse said. An older woman and a younger girl. They said they helped him before. Alex's mother looked up immediately. "Where are they?" "They're waiting near the front," the nurse said. "If you want, they can come in for a short visit." Tu Na's attention sharpened. Lan's did too. Alex's mother stood up slowly and straightened her jacket. "Bring them," she said. The nurse stepped out. The room felt different right away, like a door had opened that might explain something. Tu Na stayed near the bed, watching Alex's face, ready for anything, ready for answers, ready for more confusion, ready for whatever this visit might bring. A moment later, footsteps approached in the hallway, and the nurse returned, guiding the 2 visitors toward the doorway. The nurse returned with the 2 visitors not long after. The older woman stepped in first, hands rough and clean at the same time, like someone who works outside but keeps things tidy. Behind her was a younger girl, little Hong, quiet, neat, and sharp-eyed. They stood at the doorway for a second, waiting. Alex's mother got up. "Please come in," she said. "Thank you for coming." The older woman nodded. "I just wanted to see if he's alive." Tu Na and Lan stayed slightly to the side so the room didn't feel crowded. Alex was still lying there with his eyes closed, breathing steady. He hadn't fully woken. He was in and out, like his body was floating between sleep and the surface. Alex's mother led the conversation. "You're the ones who helped him, right?" The older woman spoke simply. "I found him near the stream. He was unconscious. I called for help, but nobody came. So I brought him home." Little Hong added, "I'm her daughter. I came home that day and saw him. He was badly injured." Tu Na listened carefully. She didn't interrupt. Alex's mother asked short questions, the kind that mattered. "Was he bleeding badly?" "Yes," the older woman said. "Head wound." "Did he wake at all?" "No," the older woman replied. "He didn't." Lan asked, careful and calm. "Did you see anyone else nearby? Any motorbike or another person?" The older woman shook her head. No. I only saw him. No bike. No people. Little Hong continued in a quiet tone, filling in the missing part without making it dramatic. When I returned home, he was already on the bed. I asked my mother who he was. She said she found him by the stream and carried him back. We cleaned him, wrapped the wound, and kept him warm. The older woman nodded along. I boiled water. I made porridge. I crushed herbs. I gave him a little bit with a spoon, but he couldn't swallow much. So I just kept him warm and checked his breathing. Tu Na glanced at Alex's face. His eyes stayed closed, but his brows tightened slightly, like he was feeling something even if he wasn't aware of it. The air in the room carried the smell of clinic medicine, but the older woman's clothes had a faint herbal scent that stood out. Tu Na noticed it right away, and she wondered if Alex could sense it too. A nurse came in and checked Alex's pulse. She reminded them softly, "Keep it quiet. He's still very weak." Alex's mother nodded and said to the visitors, "Thank you, really." The older woman waved her hand lightly, as if she didn't want praise. "If someone is hurt, you help," she said. Little Hong stayed quiet, looking at the bandage and the way Alex was positioned. She didn't touch anything, just observed. "He needs rest," she said. "Don't make him talk." They were about to step back out when Alex finally stirred more noticeably. It wasn't a big wake-up. It was small signs first. His fingers moved under the blanket. His throat worked like he was trying to swallow, and his eyelids fluttered. Alex's mother leaned closer immediately. "Alex," she said gently, "it's Mom." Alex opened his eyes a little. The gaze was slow and unfocused, like he couldn't hold the room in place yet. He looked at his mother first and seemed to settle, like her voice anchored him. Tu Na stayed still, not rushing him. Lan stood behind, watching quietly. Alex blinked again, then shut his eyes for a second, as if the light hurt. When he opened them again, his mother spoke softly, keeping it simple. "You had an accident," she told him. "You were found near a stream. These two, this auntie and her daughter, saved you and brought you to safety. If they hadn't helped, you might not be here." Alex's eyes shifted toward the older woman and Little Hong. He stared at them for a moment, trying to understand. He didn't suddenly remember scenes. He looked like someone piecing together a story he never witnessed awake. But something still changed in his face. The herbal smell in the room mixed with his mother's words, and Alex's expression tightened, like a natural body memory. Warmth on his skin, a bitter taste, the pressure of a bandage, hands lifting him. Not clear images, just impressions. He tried to speak. His lips moved and a rough sound came out. The nurse leaned in slightly. "Slowly," she said. Alex swallowed and forced out a broken sentence. Thank you. It wasn't smooth, but it was real. The older woman nodded once. "Good. You're awake." Little Hong spoke quietly, respectful. "Don't talk too much, just rest." Alex blinked and tried again, still looking at them. "Thank you for help." His voice was weak, but his intention was clear. Alex's mother's shoulders loosened, just a little, like that simple thank you meant he was truly coming back. Tu Na finally spoke, low and gentle. "They helped you when nobody else was there." Alex's eyes moved toward Tu Na. He looked at her for a moment. There was still that small hesitation, but it felt more natural now, like his head was slow, not like he was rejecting her. He didn't try to talk to her. He just watched her face, then closed his eyes again, tired. The nurse stepped in. "That's enough," she said calmly. "Let him rest." Alex's mother nodded and turned to the visitors. "Thank you for coming today. Thank you for saving my son." The older woman waved her hand again, as if she didn't want to be treated like a hero. "Just let him recover," she said. Little Hong nodded to Tu Na and Lan, then followed her mother toward the door. Before they left, Tu Na stepped forward slightly and said, "Thank you. I won't forget it." Little Hong replied simply, "Take care of him." They left the room, and the air felt lighter. Not because everything was solved, but because there was one clear truth everyone could hold on to. Alex had been saved by kindness. Lan stepped into the hallway with Tu Na for a moment. She glanced back through the door. "Today we just keep him stable. The rest can wait." Tu Na returned to the bedside and sat down. Alex slept longer after that, the kind of sleep that looked deeper and safer than before. When the doctor came later, Alex squeezed a hand again, weak but consistent. The doctor nodded and repeated what they had said all day. Rest, quiet, no pressure. By evening, Tu Na called Ba Tang to check on Henry. He was fine, fed, and calm. Tu Na promised she would come soon. Before she left, Alex opened his eyes once more for a brief moment. He didn't speak. He just looked around, found his mother's face, then drifted his gaze toward where Tu Na stood. Tu Na didn't force anything. "I'll be back," she said softly. "Rest." Alex didn't answer, but he didn't look away either. Then his eyes closed again, and the nurse reminded them to keep the room quiet. Tu Na left to pick Henry up and prepare for the night. The day had brought a small step forward. Alex could open his eyes. He could understand basic words, and he could say, "Thank you." That was enough for now.
Từ Na bắt đầu ngày mới trong trạng thái kiệt sức sau một đêm mất ngủ ở phòng khám, vừa chăm sóc Henry vừa tỉnh táo bên cạnh Alex, người vẫn còn yếu và lúc tỉnh lúc mê. Sau khi Lan đến, Từ Na đưa Henry đến chỗ bà Tang để cô có thể tập trung hoàn toàn vào Alex. Mẹ của Alex ở gần đó và giữ cho căn phòng yên tĩnh. Sau đó, người phụ nữ lớn tuổi đã tìm thấy Alex gần con suối, đã đến cùng con gái của mình là Tiểu Hồng. Họ giải thích cách họ đã đưa Alex về nhà cầm máu và giữ ấm cho Alex, dùng các loại thảo mộc đơn giản cùng cháo để giữ cho cậu ổn định cho đến khi có người đến giúp. Khi Alex cựa quậy và mở mắt trong giây lát, mẹ cậu đã giải thích rằng hai người này đã cứu mạng cậu. Alex vẫn còn yếu và bối rối, cố gắng thì thầm một lời cảm ơn đứt quãng nhưng chân thành. Y tá yêu cầu mọi người giữ im lặng trong phòng và Alex lại chìm vào giấc ngủ, trong khi Tử Na vẫn giữ chút hy vọng nhỏ nhoi, biết rằng cậu đang tỉnh lại nhưng vẫn chưa hoàn toàn bình phục.